Right now, somewhere in your garden, a clock is ticking that most people don't even know exists. It's not about the weather, it's not about frost, and it's not about the calendar hanging in your kitchen. It's about soil temperature, day length, and a narrow biological window that slams shut the moment June arrives. Miss it, and you'll spend the rest of the year watching your neighbors haul in baskets of tomatoes, beans, and squash, while your own beds sit half empty. Get it right, and the next 4 months become the most abundant growing stretch of your entire year. So before you do anything else this week, you need to know exactly which 10 plants must go into the ground right now, because some of these will not germinate, will not ripen, and will not produce anything at all if you wait even 7 more days. Number 5 on this list absolutely demands warm soil and a long season, and if you miss this one, you simply will not get ripe fruit at all this year. And number 8, sown right now, will quietly grow through the summer and reward you next spring when nothing else in the garden is producing a single thing. Let's count them down. Starting at number 10, we have nasturtiums and cornflowers, and this is your absolute last call for blooms this season. Cornflowers are one of those cottage garden classics that look effortless, but they need to go in now if you want those iconic blue, pink, and purple flowers waving above your beds this summer. Wait too long and they will spend their energy on leaves instead of blossoms. Nasturtiums are even more forgiving, and honestly, they might be the most useful flower you can grow. They are completely edible, with leaves and flowers that bring a peppery, almost watercress-like flavor to salads. They actively pull aphids and other pests away from your vegetables, working as a living trap crop. They thrive in poor soil where almost nothing else wants to grow, so that scrappy corner of your garden you have been ignoring is exactly where they belong. Just press the seeds directly into the soil, water them in, and walk away. Both of these flowers will pull bees, butterflies, and beneficial insects into your garden all summer long, which means better pollination for everything else you are growing. Coming in at number 9 are sunflowers, the pollinator magnets that punch far above their weight. Direct sow them right now. You will see germination within days because sunflower seeds love warm soil and they explode out of the ground when conditions are right. The trick is matching variety to space. Plant the tall mammoth varieties at the back of your beds, where they will create a dramatic vertical wall of color and structure. Use the dwarf varieties along your paths and borders, where they will line walkways with cheerful golden faces at knee height. All summer long, the heads will be alive with bees and butterflies. Come fall, those mature seed heads become a feast for goldfinches, chickadees, and yes, you too, if you want to harvest your own seeds for snacking or replanting next year. There is something almost magical about a tall sunflower in full bloom, and you have still got just enough time to grow your own. At number 8, we hit the brassica sweet spot with kohlrabi and purple sprouting broccoli. Now here's why this is so critical. Most people think of brassicas as cool weather crops, and they are. But if you sow them too early, they bolt in the heat, and if you sow them too late, they don't size up before winter. Late May and early June is the narrow optimal window when the seedlings establish in warmth and then mature into the cooling autumn. Kohlrabi grows astonishingly fast, producing those crisp, sweet, alien-looking bulbs in just 8 to 10 weeks. Slice them raw into salads, roast them with butter, or shred them into slaw. But the real prize is purple sprouting broccoli, and this is the plant I teased earlier. Sown right now, it will quietly establish through summer, hold steady through autumn, survive the winter, and then in early spring, when your garden has nothing else to offer and the supermarket shelves are full of imported produce, it will erupt into tender purple spears with a flavor sweeter and richer than anything you can buy. That's the magic. You're planting in May for a harvest 11 months away, and almost no one else thinks to do it. Number 7 brings us to beetroot and chard, the double-duty vegetables every garden should include. These are quick-growing, heat-tolerant powerhouses that give you 2 crops from one planting because both the leaves and the roots are completely edible. Beet greens cooked down with garlic taste like the richest, earthiest spinach you have ever had. The roots themselves can be roasted, pickled, juiced, or grated raw. Direct sow right now for a steady summer harvest, and then sow again in late summer for a second fall crop that will carry you well into autumn. Rainbow chard, with its electric stems of pink, yellow, orange, and red, is one of the most beautiful plants you can grow, and unlike most leafy greens, it shrugs off summer heat without bolting. These 2 crops are forgiving, fast, and dependable, which is exactly what you want during the busiest stretch of the gardening year. At number 6 are carrots, and this really is your last realistic window. Here is the problem nobody tells you. Once the calendar tips into hot summer, the surface of your soil becomes too warm and too dry for carrot seeds to germinate reliably. You will sow a row, water it faithfully, and end up with a patchy, frustrating mess. But right now, soil temperatures are still in the sweet spot, and germination is far more dependable. The catch is that carrot seeds take 2 to 3 full weeks to come up, and during that entire period, the seedbed must stay consistently moist. Some gardeners lay a board over the row to lock in moisture, lifting it as soon as the green shoots appear. Sow in shallow drills no deeper than ½ an inch because carrots need light and warmth near the surface, and once they are up, you have to thin them ruthlessly. I know it feels brutal to pull out perfectly healthy seedlings, but if you do not, your roots will be stunted, twisted, and disappointing. Get this right, and you will be pulling sweet, tender carrots in 70 to 80 days. Now, we hit number 5, and this is the one I warned you about. Melons, both watermelon and cantaloupe, absolutely require warm soil at a minimum of 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and they need a long, hot season to produce ripe, sweet fruit. There is no shortcut. Direct seeding is strongly preferred over transplants because melons have delicate root systems that hate disturbance. Plant them on small mounds, which improves drainage and helps the soil warm even faster. The mound trick is something old-time gardeners have done for generations, and it genuinely works. If you wait until June to sow your melons, the fruit simply will not ripen before the cool nights of early fall slow down sugar development, and you will end up with bland, mealy melons or no melons at all. There is nothing more disappointing than watching a vine sprawl across your garden all summer only to produce fruit that never sweetens. Get them in this week. At number 4 are summer squash and zucchini, the family feeders that practically grow themselves once conditions are right. Their optimal soil temperature is 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and we have finally hit that range. A single zucchini plant can feed an entire family all summer long, and most gardeners end up giving the surplus away to neighbors who suddenly stop returning their calls. Direct sow them on small mounds just like melons because they share that same dislike of transplant shock. Germination happens within 1 week in warm soil, and from sowing to first harvest is only about 50 days. The abundance becomes almost overwhelming, but that is exactly why you grow them. Grilled, sautéed, baked into bread, spiralized into noodles, stuffed and roasted, summer squash is one of the most versatile crops in the entire garden. Number 3 is cucumbers, the speed demons of the summer garden. Direct sow them once your soil hits 65 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, and watch what happens. Cucumber vines grow so explosively fast that direct sown plants will actually overtake transplants within just a couple of weeks. The trick to a long harvest is succession sowing, planting a new short row every 2 weeks through the middle of June. That way, as one batch slows down in late summer, another is just hitting its peak. Trellis the vining varieties to save space and keep the fruit clean, straight, and easy to spot. And here is the critical thing most people get wrong. Pick them young. A cucumber harvested when it is small to medium-sized is sweet, crisp, and almost seedless. Let it grow too long and it becomes bitter, watery, and full of tough seeds. At number 2, we have sweet corn, and this one comes with very specific rules. Corn requires soil temperatures of at least 55 degrees Fahrenheit, ideally 60 to 70 for uniform germination, but the most important rule is how you plant it. Never, ever sow corn in a single long row. Plant it in blocks of at least 4 by 4 plants, because corn is wind-pollinated, and a block ensures the pollen drifts properly from tassel to silk. A single row will give you ears with missing kernels and patchy development, which is infuriating after months of work. Late May is your last chance to hit harvest before the first fall frost in most growing zones, and honestly, nothing in the entire vegetable kingdom matches the flavor of corn-picked moments before it goes into the pot. The sugars start converting to starch within minutes of harvest, which is why store-bought corn never tastes the same. And finally, at number 1, the most critical crop you absolutely must get into the ground this week are bush and pole beans. The soil is finally above 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the sweet spot for fast, vigorous bean germination. Beans go from seed to harvest in just 50 to 60 days, which is astonishingly quick, and they respond beautifully to succession sowing every 2 to 3 weeks for continuous harvests right up until frost. Direct sown beans dramatically outperform transplants because beans, like melons and squash, hate having their roots disturbed. Pole beans climb up trellises, fences, and teepees, maximizing your vertical space and producing pod after pod all season long. Bush beans grow short and bushy, giving you concentrated harvests that are perfect for canning, freezing, or pickling all at once. Whatever you grow this year, beans should be the foundation because they feed your soil with nitrogen as they grow, leaving the bed richer than they found it. So that's your countdown, and the message is simple. Warm season crops will not catch up if planted late. The science is clear that germination rates and final yields drop sharply the moment planting slips past the optimal soil temperature window. This week is your line in the sand. Get these seeds in the ground in the next few days, and you'll be harvesting steadily from July all the way through to the first hard frost, while gardeners who hesitate will be paying premium prices at the grocery store and wondering why their neighbors keep dropping off bags of zucchini. Pick the 3 or 4 crops from this list that excite you most, find a sunny patch, and start sowing today. Your future self, standing in the kitchen in August surrounded by a counter full of homegrown produce, will be very, very glad you did. If you have a favorite warm season crop you would not garden without, take a moment to think about why it has earned that spot in your beds, because the gardeners who pay attention to timing are the ones who eat well all year long.